Oh, we are back on the bike. It's been a few days. Nothing went wrong too bad. I just I scratched my eyeball pretty badly, so my right eye was insanely blurry and just always inflamed. Not a good way to ride a motorcycle. So it's been probably 4 days since I've been on this thing. Woo! And it feels damn good. I went to turn it on this morning to ride it to go to the gym to film my first moto vlog in a couple days. I went to go turn it on and my battery was completely dead. So that sucked, but that's okay. I have a float charger. I plugged it into the battery for a couple hours. This thing popped right on. No issues. So that was a little scary. I wasn't sure if something got messed up because it did get rained on. We got a bunch of rain the other day and I forgot my bike outside. It only got rained on for a couple hours until I moved it underneath, but it definitely hit some water. And I noticed my chain is going to shit. When I look at the chain from the side, two of the links look like kind of twisted on me. They're not like completely flat. It's like there's a kink in it. So I don't think my chain is doing too well. It's also stretched out a ton. I've had to tighten the rear axle a bunch of times. Well, not tighten the rear axle, but tighten the chain adjustment nut, because the chain keeps stretching itself out. And after leaving it in the rain for a while, or a couple hours, then not really riding it for a couple days, I lubed it up today, and it's just making noises that I don't like. And just visually, I don't like the way it looks, so I figured it's time for an upgrade. I know a lot of people, the first thing they do on a bike like this, chain is a part of that process. You know, most people, when they replace their sprockets, their carb and all that stuff, the chain just makes sense to do so with it. But I figured might as well ride the stock chain out. It should be fine. And we're over 1,800 miles on this thing, and it's been totally fine for me. I've had no noticeable issues, and I bet it could go a while longer. But today went on Amazon, bought myself a nice gold X-ring chain. I'll put the link to that in the description, so if you guys are like me and got the gearing that works with the stock chain, then this will be a replacement for the stock chain. Just way nicer quality. This regular chain that comes with it is just a standard chain, no O-ring or X-ring. It does its job though. I'm happy with how long it lasted. I was surprised that my battery drained itself in like 4 or 5 days. This is a second battery that I bought. I still have my stock battery in a box somewhere. It was working fine until I noticed it wasn't really starting up as well anymore. Like, it felt like I had no juice in it. So that's when I put in the new battery that I had bought for it. It was right around the same time. I was such a noob when I first put this bike together. I had the kill switch off, so I thought my battery was dead out the box, and I went and bought a new battery just to come back and remember or realize that I had the kill switch off. So we flicked that and I was able to start the engine no problem. That's what day one of owning this was like. Oh no, the school buses are out. I may have picked a rough time to go out for a ride. Oh, this guy's going ultra slow. But damn, it feels so good to be back on the bike. Jeez, I missed it. Suspension feels good. I think I need to replace the fork oil in the front as well. It just feels shitty in the front. It like sticks. It's weird. It has a weird I love little engines. I have pretty much decided that my second bike is probably going to be a SV650. It just makes the most sense. I know I was talking about more powerful bikes like the GSXR 750 or the Jixis 750, but I think taking a smarter, more calculated step up in power is a better decision to me. Rather than going straight to a race bike like an R6 or something, or a CBR 600RR, instead of going straight for one of those after my beginner bike, it probably makes more sense to go with an intermediate type of bike like the SV650, because if you get really good on that, you can still pass people on their way more powerful bikes, and it gives you more room to learn. You can really learn to push that thing to its limit, because its limit is not gonna be completely out of range. If I were to buy like a liter bike or a Gixxer 750, the limit of that bike is not obtainable to me, and learning to get to that limit with a bike that powerful would definitely be possible, but a little bit more difficult compared to learning it on something like a SV650, especially since I plan on doing track days. I think next year's content, next summer, is going to be full of track day content on this channel. I want to get into more story driven content, if that makes sense. Like right now I kind of just go for a ride and we talk about whatever while we're riding, and then I make that into a video. But I know you guys have seen like some of the more higher end motovlog YouTubers with the intros and the separate angles and the third-party cameras, and I want to do stuff like that. I want to keep the motovlogging as kind of like the base for the channel, which is what we do right now, so I can constantly get a consistent stream of videos in and do what I love, which is just riding in the bike. But also I really love the creative side of things, and sometimes it can be tough for me to put 100% of my effort into creating things, because then they never come out. That's the big problem that I've noticed, is a lot of times when I put 100% effort into making YouTube videos or any of my content, I end up getting a little bit too anal about it, and I need it to be absolutely perfect because I'm putting in so much time, and it's like I'm hyping it up and I want it to be a big deal to everybody, but then it never comes out, or I spend way too much time on just doing one piece of content. I can never actually like keep the consistency up. So a lot of people who've watched me for a long time have kind of noticed that I've dialed that back with the motovlogging stuff. I've kind of streamlined the whole situation where the videos are very simple and they are very easy to make. Like the editing doesn't take very long. I don't particularly want there to be a lot of editing for a reason. I want it to be kind of natural and relaxed. Kind of feel like you're going for a ride with me. Oh man, that was interesting. I don't think I've ever been down this road. There's so many neighborhoods very close to my house that I've spent zero time exploring. Man, I don't know if it's just because I haven't been on the bike in a couple days, but it feels absolutely outstanding right now. Maybe it's because I like lubed up the chain and I let the bike warm up for a solid 15 minutes. But oh, it's feeling good. Woo! Gotta love it. The cougar on the bike. I love seeing old people, old ladies, old gentlemen out there cruising on their cruisers. Never stop. I was on YouTube this morning watching damn, I wish I remembered his channel name, but he's 75 years old and he's riding trial bikes for the first time. I don't know if you guys know what trials bikes are, but it's like obstacle course motorcycles essentially. You know, Trials HD, like the video game where you do all those crazy obstacle courses, kind of that, but like in real life, where you hop over stuff and do tricks and like go from log to log to log. The bikes are crazy looking. You can only stand on them. They don't have a seat. It's pretty cool stuff. I'd be into that if maybe I was a little bit more, what's the word for it, experienced with my riding, because it seems like that's damn near the hardest thing to do. What's down there? Boulder. I've never been down here. Yeah, this is where the rich people are at, huh? And they're hiding back here. Accidental rev bomb. Worst time to get a sticky neutral. Damn, these people have nice waterfront property. Oh, well, let's not go down there. It's also a dead end. Ooh, this house is for sale. I bet you this whole area right here is so undervalued right now, because it's kind of tucked away and hidden, but it's so close. If you guys don't know, this is the Swansea Somerset area. It's about an hour outside of Boston, a few hours outside of New York, 30 minutes outside of Providence. It is in a really, really nice spot. There's not much to do around here, but you can get to everything pretty quickly. But this is the type of neighborhood that I would love to live in the future, like when I retire. If we ever blow up on YouTube, I do want to live in a city. It's just, you know, I've always wanted to live in a city. It's just not within the range of money, you know. You have to make so much money to live in any real city. It's just not really worth it. It's not really worth something to aspire to, right? Because even if I was making like 10 times as much as what I was right now, I still wouldn't be making enough to move to a city. So that's not really in the plans, but it would be cool. I think I would enjoy it. I've also been looking up mountain biking stuff and Sur-Ron videos again. I really want to get a Sur-Ron. Potentially maybe a nice mountain bike, then put a mid-drive in it. But man, nice mountain bikes are more expensive than a Sur-Ron. You know what I mean? When you start looking at mountain bikes, if you want to get like a nice dual suspension mountain bike, it's going to cost you like $3,500. Something that's actually going to like last and have quality parts across the board, which is always something you want. Because then when you look at cheaper bikes, it's like, all right, I can pay $1,200 for this bike that doesn't have a rear suspension, has a shitty front suspension, bad brakes, weak frame, bad cassette, and then you're like, oh, after I upgrade all that stuff to high quality stuff, I'm going to be spending another $2,000 anyway. Actually, let's go over here and see what's over here. I'm kind of scared to explore the limit on this bike just because of the tires. Like, I know the Shinko 705s do fine for the street, but they're so thin, and it's a 21 inch in the front, 18 in the rear. I don't really want to be trying to push the level of grip too hard, you know. I don't want to lean this bike down too hard, and it's so high up that it feels like it's going to shoot out from under me whenever I do lean it. And I do only have like a 1/2 inch of chicken strip on each side, which is pretty good for someone at my level of skill with this particular bike. But it's also not that great because I can't really use more confidently. On a street bike, that chicken strip would be like 2 inches with how much I have been leaning or have not been leaning. Good old back row twisties. One time I felt my back tire kick out real hard on some gravel when I was going up a turn. That was probably the scariest moment I've had on a bike, even though I've been almost hit by cars. When you're just riding along casually and you think everything's fine, all of a sudden your rear tire just spits out on you. It is fucking terrifying. Jeez, that exhaust is so loud. Man, this thing feels lower for some reason. Like the whole bike just feels smaller to me. Oh man, it's because I'm wearing my riding shoes. They have like 1.5 inches lift. They are super thick on the soles. Make it so I can put my foot down so easy. Hey, wave to the bikers. He waved back, I love it. I'll take all the waves I can get out here. You know what I noticed that I intuitively do is trail brake. I'm so happy that I did a lot of sim racing, because sim racing in general has kind of nailed trail braking into my mind. So no matter what, I kind of automatically use progressive braking. I can be a little bit too abrupt on the start, but leaning in, like the way you're supposed to like let off the brake slowly, not completely, so you're keeping some weight on the front, that's something that I naturally just do. And I think a lot of other people are like that, to be honest. Maybe I would have done that naturally before sim racing as well, but I feel like sim racing helps with that. I know sim racing is the reason why I'm able to ride a manual, because one time my buddy put me in his manual car, good old stick shift, back in high school, and I could not drive that thing at all. But I learned how to drift in sim racing, or in a Assetto Corsa, using the clutch and, you know, manipulating all different types of ways. Pretty much figured out exactly how it works, and I was able to hop on a bike for the first time and teach myself how to ride it. I wasn't very good at it, and I stalled a few times, but I was surprised on how well I did for somebody with literally zero experience on a motorcycle. If you guys want to watch that, I did post my first time ever riding a motorcycle. I don't think I had a mic set up at the time. I believe it was my phone strapped to my chest. But yeah, if you guys want to see that, just go to my videos and scroll down. Go to my uploads and scroll down to the beginning of my motorcycle arc. How stable this bike is. No hands. Under engine braking. I wonder how this thing would handle some small jumps. Once I get a second bike, we're gonna start being a little bit more risque with this bike. Because right now, if anything goes wrong with it, I can't ride it, and I don't have any bike to ride. So once I get a second bike, we might start learning how to do wheelies, taking this bitch off small little jumps, doing a little more hooligan activity. Nice bolt, bro. Is that a speed bump? Nope. It's a big yellow line. That thing scared the shit out of me. Oh my god. Alright, and with that, that's gonna be the end of today's vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the support. Don't forget, if you're gonna buy a Hawk or any of the stuff on the Hawk, please use the links in my description. It helps me out a little bit, keeps the channel running. I'm not making much money off that kind of stuff, but it helps, you know. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all. Later. Oh yeah, and the Patreon. If you guys want to get shouted out in the video, sign up for the Patreon. I haven't posted anything on there. It's literally just so if you want to support me, since I don't have a join button. $3.50 is the cheapest subscription, and everybody gets the same thing, which is nothing. So if you want to support, that's the best way to do it. Alright, I guess. Thank you. Don't do that. The only reason I went is because I wanted to spare the lady some embarrassment, but that could have ended real bad for me if somebody was speeding and wanted to just get around. Just take your right away. If her right away was turning in, I would have been able to get in when I get in. Although I appreciate it. Heart was in the right place, but the mind wasn't. Peace out, y'all.